Thank you, Mr. President. My question again is to Commissioner Geoghegan-Quinn. No single country can solve the problems of the world on its own. I specifically refer to problems such as climate change, food security and tackling chronic diseases. In this context, Commissioner, what plans does the Commission have under Horizon 2020 to further intensify international cooperation in the fields of research, innovation and science? And linking this, I also would like to ask what priorities is the Commission given to unemployment, particularly youth unemployment, which we all agree now is at catastrophic levels right across Europe?
Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Aylward. International cooperation in the whole area of research and innovation is absolutely crucial and critical. We can't, as you said rightly, solve the problems, whether they're on the health side, the energy side, the food security side. Whatever aspect of research and innovation, we have to work together. We have to work across borders in Europe, but we also have to work with neighbours all around the world. And we have had an international cooperation policy over many years in DG Research. But as you know, when was it, September, we launched our new international cooperation strategy paper. And in that, what we're looking at is a much better focus on what we do, scope and scale, looking also at flagship initiatives in which we are involved, because we do have S&T agreements right around the world with very many countries, individual ones. Looking now at, do you continue with individual S&T agreements or do you more or less concentrate on regional S&T agreements? And if you look at flagship initiatives, for example, recently I had the great privilege of visiting South Africa and launching the second phase of the European and Developing Countries Clinical Trials Partnership, in the company indeed of Mrs Carvalho from the ITRE Committee. And there I saw for myself the difference that relatively small amounts of European funding can make in an area in the townships where they're struggling to cope with finding solutions to AIDS, to tuberculosis and malaria. So I think we have to be strategic in the way we cooperate. We have to have flagship initiatives like EDCTP in other areas around the world, and we also have to at all times remember what the strategic interest of the European Union is. So I think there is a huge area of cooperation in which we should be involved. On youth unemployment, obviously not an area in which I'm directly involved in, but an area in which the Commission as a whole is consumed at the moment, where Commissioner Andor obviously takes the lead and is putting forward various initiatives, and I understand that under the Irish Government this is one of the key priorities for the Government during its presidency for the next 6 months.
Mr. Aylward, supplementary.
Thank you for your reply, Commissioner. And following on from that, as more and more knowledge is created in third countries, what instruments are offered under Horizon 2020 to entice researchers and investors to the European Union? What measurable markers will be put in place to make the Union the most attractive location for carrying out research and innovation, and to assess our progress on an ongoing basis in this regard?
We need to be able to prove internationally that Europe is a good place to come and work and a good place in which to invest. And Horizon 2020 is all about creating the landscape and the architecture to prove to investors, to researchers, that Europe is a place to come and invest. For researchers, for example, earlier last year I had the great opportunity of meeting about 80 European researchers that are working in the Harvard MIT area of Massachusetts, during which I asked them where they would like to see themselves in 10 years' time. Each one of them said they'd like to see themselves at home, and I asked, does this mean your own member state? And they said no, it means the European Union. And I said, you know, what's preventing this from happening? And they said, because everything is unclear. Our career profile is unclear. Mobility is difficult. Taking a funding grant with you across borders is impossible. So we need you to put in place the kind of landscape that is necessary to encourage us to come back. And that's what Horizon 2020 is doing. That's what it's about. And that's what the European Research Area is all about, is creating that level playing field so that people feel it's a good place to do business. We should be here. The European Research Council is a perfect example of where we have the organisation that is now accepted worldwide as the barometer for excellence, where they fund researchers, no matter where they come from, to come and do their research in the European Union. The grants are substantial, and it's a huge badge of honour, not just for the researcher, but indeed, importantly, for the institution within which the researcher operates. So I think if you look overall at Horizon 2020, what we're doing in the whole research area, together with my colleagues, it shows that we're putting in place the kind of climate, the kind of architecture where people feel comfortable to come and invest because they know they'll get a return, they know what the rules are, they know there'll be a stable environment into the future, and also for researchers that we're putting in place the kind of environment in which they feel comfortable to work in.
Well, you certainly gave Mr. Aylward very full value for his supplementary, but strictly speaking, a supplementary only gets a minute reply. All right? Thank you.